What's good, y'all? It's your man DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast. You know I'm holding it down for y'all, representing, man. Shout out to everybody out there rocking with us. And you know how we do every week at this time. Plicker's Spotlight Story. We set things off with a big story, possibly a little story, but you know your man DJ Playboy's about to bring it to you. And this week was a big one, man. Your boy Michael Rubin, you know, fresh off the Fanatics Fest, he was out there promoting the damn thing before it kicked off, and he stopped by the Breakfast Club, and he had some things to say. He talked about Drake attending his white party and the rumor of Not Like Us being banned from the party. He confirmed that. He said, nah, you know, Drake's my guy. I'm not going to let them play a song dissing him.
Business relationships come out of it. It's good vibes. But like when you see stuff online, like Drake was there this year and everybody was like, oh, they weren't allowed to play Not Like Us. Like, does that stuff bother you? And was that even true?
It was true. And look, for me, I'm always, I just don't think, Drake's my friend for a long time. I'm not going to invite him and then have, he's obviously going through, he's going through a little bit of battle right now. I'm not going to have him come there and
be in battle mode.
I just didn't think it was appropriate. So I just sent a note. I said, hey, let's not play, anyone's music that's feuding with anyone that's there. I mean, look, you got.
But that was a you decision. It wasn't like Drake was like, don't play
that was a me decision. Gotcha. I just thought it was the pro.
And he also spoke about a lot of his other friendships, people that he had in the league, people that he had in the music industry, one of them being Meek Mill. And we all know in the past year, Meek Mill was definitely the butt of a lot of jokes, mainly after, Diddy got himself into some legal trouble, Meek Mill's name popping up in the legal papers, and then Black Twitter, we gonna go crazy. We gonna have some fun with it. And that's what kind of happened to your man Meek Mill. He was a victim of what somebody call cyberbullying, you know what I mean? But we in the Black community, we had some jokes. He had to catch these jokes. But Michael Rubin decided that he felt some type of way about it, and he said this.
Like, that is the one thing I've learned about, and look, I'm just being blunt because it's me. It's the one thing I've learned about Black culture that I don't like is that Black hate on hate.
Speak on that more. I heard you say that earlier, and I wanted you to expound on that. You said you don't like to see Black people tearing down other Black people.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Okay.
Like it's horrible. Like, what? Like, I always want to be helpful. I feel lucky and fortunate to do what I do every day. To be whatever success I've had, I feel blessed to do that. And I want to give back in every way I can. In business and in charitable things, I'm always trying to be helpful. Like, why does someone want to bring somebody else down? Let's try to build everybody up. Like, I'd be more excited to see one of my friends do something that's 99% less meaningful to me, but it would be really meaningful to them because I want them to do great. I want everyone around me to do great. I don't like watching Black hate on hate. It's like that Black judge that Meek had that hated on him and wanted to go extra hard on him. I think it's terrible. I think it's something I think it's culturally wrong. And I'll probably get killed for saying this because,
I'm glad you're saying it openly. If this is the conversations that are being had.
I have it all the time with
I want to hear this.
Yeah. So I think it's wrong. I think, like, why do you not want to build everyone up around you? Why do you not want everyone around you to do great? The best way for everyone to do great is to push each other up. I'm always pushing everyone around me. It's why I spend, a quarter of my days helping other people because I want them to do great.
Obviously, Michael Rubin, he was involved in some of the jokes that Meek Mill got. Meek Mill went viral when an old video of him doing bunny hops after losing a bet to Michael Rubin resurfaced from years ago. Because it fit into the narrative of the jokes. And Michael Rubin felt some type of way. He's like, I don't like this. I don't like how in y'all community, it felt weird saying it. I don't like how in the Black community, you guys hate on each other. You guys tear each other down. Meek Mill's obviously not a gay man, but the fact that you guys are going to run with a narrative and just have these jokes, he felt some type of way about that. Now, when Michael Rubin first made the comments, I remember listening to the interview live. It did give me a feeling like, whoa, who's this guy to be speaking on what Black people do? Also, something that really, the first thing that popped in my head is like, that ain't just Black people. Like, I listen to a lot of different podcasts, I view a lot of different blogs, and I see white people hating on white people every day, and almost in a kind of a different way than how we do it in the Black community, like where it feels almost like high school jokes. It reminds me of like if somebody had a something funny happen in high school, you crack on them probably for like the next week, and then something else will happen, and then we start cracking on that person. You know what I mean? It's just how you got to get these jokes. You got to take your week of shame. You know what I mean? And that's really what Meek Mill caught. Whereas I see it in other communities, they just hate to hate. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that doesn't happen in the Black community as well, but I think when he was referring to the Meek Mill thing, that was more like jovial. That was more like jokes, and you see how Meek Mill handled it. You know what I mean? He just took it for like a week, pause, and moved on. You know what I mean? Went back to what he was doing. I don't think it really affected anything. I don't think it stopped his money at all. You know what I mean? I don't think it stopped anything that he's doing. If anything, it probably increased his engagement and social media and things of that nature. That's the funny thing about like hate is whether somebody has a negative comment about you, whether somebody has a positive comment about you. it all means the same to the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? You just up in Meek Mill's status and social status on whatever platform you guys are deciding to dislike him on. But back to the Michael Rubin comment, yeah, it was a little wild to say that. And Michael Rubin knew it. He says it in the comment. He's like, I'm going to get killed for this. You know what I mean? Because he felt, you know what I mean? He might have been talking out of turn. He might have been talking out of place and even really acts like turn to Charlemagne and Envy. Like, y'all let me know if I'm saying anything crazy. But he knew, you know, that eventually he probably was going to have to apologize. And he did. He came out with what some might call an apology. I'll read the quote here. He said, I got a call from one of the people I have the most respect for in the world. They told me while they appreciate my attention, it's not my place to speak on black culture. I get it and really appreciate the input. My intention was to say how important it is that we need to uplift each other, stop hating on each other, and push each other to win, and always root for each other's success. My bad, much love, and appreciate the feedback. Now, a few things I like there, like, he didn't necessarily apologize, which I don't even think he should have. I think we should be allowed to talk about other cultures, you know what I mean, without being like, oh, damn, I got to now issue some crazy apology. He didn't say sorry in that quote at all. He said my bad, and, you know what I mean, said that it wasn't his intention and really reinstated what his intentions were with his comment. But I like that the fact that he didn't say sorry. I wouldn't call that an apology because he didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? He said what he sees. You know, he's around rich and famous black people, and they probably express these views to him. You know what I mean? And if they don't, he sees it happening to them in real time. You know what I mean? He's getting phone calls like, yo, is Meek playing for the other team? He's like, no, what are you talking about? And you know what I mean? He says this in an interview, like one of his buddies like, I just seen it like 700 times on the internet. You know what I mean? And people are going to go off of that. And he really just wanted to point out like, hey, y'all breaking down another black man with these comments and things like that, as opposed to building each other up. So thank you, Michael Rubin, for making that comment initially. And then also knowing that you might have talked a little bit out of turn and being like, hey, I spoke to somebody that wasn't my intention. My bad. But let's get to the nitty gritty of it, because what he said was not false. There is this level of like hate within the black community that I think we got to outgrow. We got to get past this. You know what I mean? And it's not just in the hip hop industry. It's not just with famous people. You see it happening with, if you ever work in like an environment where you might be one of two black people, one of three black people, you know, I've heard stories of people saying like, rather than us coming together and you looking out for each other, you know, I got people trying to build me down, hating on me to the manager because, you know what I mean, I'm just the other black guy there, you know what I mean, or instead of having your back, you know what I mean, kind of like being embarrassed about you or being like upset about you. And that's a real thing that exists, you know what I mean? And I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where it exists, you know, because like Michael Rubin, I get more from building people up rather than taking them down, you know what I mean? But specifically in the Meek Mill's case, I think we got to like get that out of there, you know what I mean? Michael Rubin called it hate on hate. And I don't think it's black hate or hate, whatever that term means. I hope it doesn't catch on because it's wild. But whatever he meant by black hate on hate, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's really, we like to make jokes. We actually, as a community, get a lot of trauma out through comedy. And of course, you don't want to be on the receiving end of it. But also, it's not, people aren't showing up to Meek Mill's house, spray painting gay slurs on his house or, you know what I mean, doing anything wild to that extent. They're making comments on social media, on posts. And that's, you know, kind of what Black Twitter does. We get our jokes off. And it's up to Meek Mill to really decide if he's going to feed into it or not. You know what I mean? There were times when Meek Mill decided he's going to respond to it. And then I think there were times he realized, yo, this is pointless. I'm arguing into an echo chamber that's not echoing what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So no matter how much of what I say, I like girls, I do this, I get twat all the time, nobody gonna care about that, you know, because it's not as funny as the joke. You know what I mean? If the lie's more interesting than the truth, then ain't nobody sticking around to find out what the truth is. They gonna run with the lie. And Michael Rubin knows what's up, you know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily white people or Asian people or Hispanic people that are running to social media when something funny happens to a black celebrity or something sad happens to a black celebrity or something with the potential to joke on happens to black celebrities. It's our own people, and he sees it. I mean, I think he should be allowed to say that. I don't think there's anything wrong. If I see something in another culture that I notice, I'm going to speak on it too. And it might be talking out of turn, but at the end of the day, if you're right, you're right. You know what I mean? And the only people that really don't want to hear it are the people who are probably indulging in that level of hate themselves. So thank you, Michael Rubin, for, you know, bringing that up, pointing it out to the community, because it also started a conversation, and it really, I think it put a mirror to us. And sometimes it takes somebody that don't look like us. Sometimes it takes somebody that looks completely different to really point out, yo, this ain't the move. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe we need to reevaluate how we move things, or maybe instead of the next time there is an opportunity to build there's an opportunity to break another black celebrity down, maybe, all right, chill out, maybe stop. Like, even in my own community, like my own group chat, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting older now. And like the jokes that used to pop off a couple years ago, the stuff we used to make fun of don't hit the same no more. You know what I mean? And I'm realizing it's sometimes like it was funny to be a little mean when we were younger, especially when I was in high school, junior high school. That's what we do. We crack on each other. And as I'm getting older, I don't know, maybe I'm getting soft, y'all, but I don't really need to be mean to anybody. Like, I don't get off on somebody else feeling bad, you know what I mean? And I think there are some people who are dealing with their own traumas who do that. They need to make somebody else feel bad to make themselves feel better. And that's something that you got to look in the mirror and work on yourself. But shout out to Michael Rubin. I don't think he said nothing out of turn. Of course, people are going to use opportunity to be like, oh, this Jewish white man is judging us, but you know what I mean? There's a whole issue going on in Israel and Palestine he's not talking about. There's a whole issue going on in their own community that they're not speaking of. But I don't have an issue with it. If you see something, say something, you know what I mean? And he was in the right place. He didn't go to Z100, sit with Elvis Duran and make that comment. He was with the Breakfast Club, you know what I mean? So it made sense. It was in context. So I got no beef with Michael Rubin's comment. And I'll be the first to admit that as a community, we definitely need to tighten up. What it do, y'all? It's your man, DJ Playboy. Just interrupting real quick, man. I really appreciate you watching this episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast. But if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. You got to run them numbers up so I can keep running it up. Also, if you're listening to the audio version on the podcast, make sure you leave a review. Let them know how much you love the podcast and, subscribe to the thing. And if you really, really want to support the team, go to www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. Get yourself a t-shirt, get yourself a sticker. You could even get yourself a mug, man. The possibilities are endless and the prices are low. Holla at us, baby. Let's get it. But right now, we got to take it to my favorite segment here on the Perfect Talk Podcast, and it's called Have You Heard? I hear things in the news. I'll bring them to my people here at the Perfect Talk Podcast. And this week kind of got a theme, man. It asks the question, if me as a celebrity moved to a different town, a different state, a different place, or decided I want to do an event in a different town, a different location, a different place, am I beholden to working with the artists in that community? Or is it just, business as usual? This came up in two situations. The first one that I saw was Sauce Walka and Drake. This was another Breakfast Club interview when Sauce Walka, was decided that he wanted to speak out about Drake. In fact, I'm gonna just let y'all hear the comments.
Is that
The Drake moment was the moment, like, that's when I was like, okay.
a lot of people know me from controversial shit like that.
Yeah.
The whack.
I'm gonna stand on the business regardless of whoever, whatever.
It's funny though, because you called Drake out for cultural appropriation way before Kendrick did.
I did. I definitely did. And if my whole city would have supported what I was on back then for the reasons that I did it then, we would have got the same reaction that Kendrick Lamar in California did. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just a beautiful thing with, again, no discredit to either one of those artists, because again, I have nothing to do with that shit and I don't give a fuck about that shit because I'm a millionaire, I'm Sauce Walka and I made it. It's just a beautiful thing to see the outcome of an entire city and then entire state standing behind an artist that represents them well and represents their culture and just trying to defend for their culture, and the culture itself not trying to mediate or prohibit their artists from fending for their culture, but instead standing behind them and supporting that ideal.
And I appreciate where Sauce Walka's coming from, you know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, if you're going to represent my city, if you're going to live out here, if you're going to shout it out on songs, appropriate it with the music, appropriate is probably the wrong word, but like, take that style in the music. Yeah, you should probably reach out to some artists, but Drake has, you know what I mean? And when artists were brought up, you know what I mean? Sauce Walka kind of shut it down. He's like, oh, Bun B,
No disrespect to Bun B. He's from Port Arthur. He's not from Houston. A lot of people try to say, oh, well, Drake made a song Bun B. Bun B not from Houston. No disrespect to him. This is Houston, Texas we're talking about. You just said Houston, didn't you? Did you say Port Arthur? Did you say Houston?
Houston.
All right then.
Obviously, Bun B responded to that saying, born in Houston, Northwood Manor, moved to West Side, Port Arthur in 6th grade. No offense taken. You know what I mean? Also, Boy Wonder, the producer, Grammy-winning producer, came out and defended Drake's, saying, he responded to somebody's post that said, that listed all the people that Drake has worked with: Travis, Bun B, Pimp C, OG Ron C, DJ Screw, multiple Houston producers, etc. The sense of entitlement is crazy, though, in which Boy Wonder responded, selective memory. So I think there's two sides. I think Sauce Walka was more so saying there's some dudes in the trenches that's not getting the shine of a Bun B, a Pimp C, of a Travis Scott, you know what I mean? And it's kind of equally beneficial for you to work with the artists at that level because they're legends. Travis is one of the biggest artists in the game. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you want to do a record? But Little Bo Peep from down the street, you know what I mean? He needs to look too, and Sauce Walka feels like Drake should be doing that. I disagree. I don't think so. I think Drake's gonna work with whoever he wants to work with, whoever he feels like working with. And you shouldn't be beholden just because you're in that city. Now, it's up to that city. If y'all feel some type of way, maybe, you know what I mean, call them out about it. The only person I really hear saying anything is Sauce Walka, you know what I mean? Because from what I hear, Drake actually does things in the community. He might not be putting people on records, but what's more beneficial? You want to get a look on a record for like 3 months, or you want somebody to actually make some change in your community, or actually spend money in your community, or actually, you know, build businesses in your community, which Drake does, you know what I mean? So it's a catch-22. You can't always win. You're not gonna please everybody, you know what I mean? And it's like a no-win situation. But this, I don't get this like, yo, you out in our town, now you got to be down with it. Because to me, that would be appropriating. It's like, if I don't really bang with these dudes and I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it, that to me is a little bit more like he trying to get the streets behind him. He trying to get, you know what I mean, everything else, which I don't think Drake is trying to do. Drake is like, yo, I got ties out here, I got peoples out here, I just want to rap. Body yada yada, you know what I mean? But everybody else is on some. Everybody else seems to be like loving it. Like I've heard, you know, actual clubs, like not Drake telling them, but actual clubs like not wanting to play Not Like Us because they like, yo, we bang with Drake out here. So I don't know. It sounds salty. It comes from a hater place for me. Like it feels like it. You know what I mean? I think his intentions were good. I think what Sauce Walka really wants to do is like not necessarily shame Drake for coming out here or be like that. Like, even though that was his original statements, I think he was more so saying, yo, where's the love for the underground artists, for the lesser known artists? And I don't think that's Drake's responsibility. I don't think that's necessarily something that he has to do. I think his presence being there, and if you would tell me he wasn't spending no time in the city, he wasn't spending no money in the city, I might agree with you. But if he really there and people can see him and touch him and put hands on him, they obviously would be able to tell him if they had a problem with it, and it don't seem like they do. So I got to disagree with Sauce Walka on this one, you know what I mean? But I think his intentions were good. I think he really wanted to, you know, bring some attention to Shine the Hood. I don't think he was necessarily trying to start a beef with Drake with his comments. But also, look, Drake ain't y'all savior. Y'all got to save yourselves, you know what I mean? Drake ain't coming here to just, you know what I mean, lay hands on people and now you a superstar. Because obviously he could do that, but that's not, maybe that's going to water down his brand. Maybe he has a responsibility as an artist himself. So I don't think Drake's doing nothing wrong, as long as I feel like if you in that community, you spending money, you bringing money to the town, you cool with me. And the next situation, kind of similar, was your boy 50 Cent. He went over to Shreveport, Louisiana, and threw a nice little festival. I believe it was let me make sure I get the name of it right. Let's say Humor and Harmony Festival, which took place in, you know, Shreveport, Louisiana. He brought a lot of comedians out there, but, you know what I mean, had a car show out there with your boy DJ Envy. Had a lot of artists out there representing, you know what I mean? It was going down. I don't know anything other. I've never heard of any big events going on in Shreveport, Louisiana at all. I haven't heard any, you know what I mean? So the fact that, you know, he moved out there, and we all know he went to Shreveport because, you know, there was big movie studios out there that were kind of deserted once, you know, the movie industry left Shreveport, Louisiana, because of tax benefits were no longer there. So 50 was able to work some things out and bought a lot of land, bought a lot of property out there, and plans on bringing a lot of money to the area by filming, you know, his various shows out there. You know, he got the entire Power universe and probably some new things on the way. But I don't know if y'all remember this rapper. His name was Hurricane Chris. He had a song called Hey Baby. Hey, hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Back in the day, and he's from Shreveport, Louisiana. And he felt some type of way, man. I'm gonna let y'all hear what Chris gotta say.
Or a motherfucking concert in Louisiana and don't book no Louisiana legends and put no bankroll in no Louisiana legends pocket, but you pay the police $500,000. What type of bitch ass shit is that? Nigga, you ain't fucking with my city, nigga. You taking advantage of my city, nigga, cause shit cheap and shit costs way less than it costs where you from. And y'all stupid, slow motherfuckers so crazy that y'all gonna let this nigga come down here and not show no love to Louisiana. This nigga ain't booked no Louisiana artists. This nigga ain't booked Big Papa. This nigga ain't booked B Will. This nigga ain't booked Hurricane. This nigga didn't even go to Baton Rouge and get no boosies or no webbies. Like, nigga didn't fuck with us. Nigga came to take advantage of us. Shreveport had cheap ass land. He came and bought that shit, and a nigga don't give a fuck about fucking with us. And he just showed you that by paying the police $500,000 when we got young niggas out here starving, when we got young niggas out here killing each other. That fucking money could have went to anything to help the motherfucking youth. We don't need more money invested into the police, nigga. We need more motherfucking money invested invested into the community. We need motherfuckers who know the community, who know the people, who willing to put their motherfucking feet on the ground to make a difference with their influence. Fuck your money, nigga. We don't care nothing about it, nigga. You think these white people ain't been having no motherfucking money in Louisiana, nigga? They using you to come through this motherfucker and to pay the city up. Nigga, they finna use you to rebuild the roads. They not finna use you to help the youth, nigga. Louisiana give a fuck about jail.
Now, similar like Sauce Walka, you're allowed to feel how you want to feel, Hurricane Chris. But you got to let me know what artists are moving the needle out there in Shreveport, Louisiana that would have got a big enough look. Now, definitely, like, they didn't have to headline the show. They didn't have to do that. They could have been opening acts. I feel you, but I don't know. I don't know anybody making noise out there. And it kind of sounded from your statement that you wanted to be out there. And I really don't, like, in 2024, is anyone trying to hear Hurricane Chris? Like, you know what I mean? And that was really 50's response, you know what I mean? 50 responded with, oh no, you're not gonna play that one song you got. Bay just went on stage with Master P, LOL. And then, you know, he threw a little Menace Society clip in there.
Here, put that in for me.
You know that shit gets no play in this ride.
Yo, if one thing you is not gonna do, you're not gonna out-internet 50. He's definitely gonna get these jokes off on the internet on you. And fam, you sound crazy. Like, your man brought a movie studio to your town. He brought a festival to your town, which didn't even sound like it would be able to handle something like that in terms of the level of people that were coming out there. And you get mad about putting some rappers. Like, I think y'all got the wrong. I think y'all just thinking from the wrong state of mind. I think y'all thinking too small. You know what I mean? An artist like Drake could do way more than just hop on a song with some local artist. Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be cute and all, but they bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? An artist like 50 Cent, you know what I mean? Like, what's better? Him being able to provide jobs in your town, or him putting on Hurricane Chris to open up his comedy festival? Is that, you know what I mean? Like, y'all thinking way too little, and I get it. Y'all the ones on the bottom, so you feel like maybe we'd be a little bit better if this person reached out, this person does that. But fam, they don't gotta do this in your town. He don't gotta build a movie studio in town. You know what I mean? Drake don't gotta do what he gotta do in Houston. And I don't think neither 50 Cent or Drake are trying to get any shine off of your towns, your respective towns of Houston or Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'd be more angry at the movie studios that moved out of Shreveport than be mad at 50 for bringing a production studio to there. You know what I mean? But these guys, you know what I mean? I think they get on the internet and they start feeling themselves and they like, yo, let me just get on a rant. Let me get on live. Like, nobody owes nothing to your city. Let's not get this confused. You know what I mean? People move to LA and start TV shows that's not from LA. People come to New York and start businesses that's not from New York. And what are we gonna say? You ain't from here. You can't rock here. Like, this is the immigration capital of the world. You know what I mean? Everybody come here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell somebody from, yo, you can't build a nail shop here because you wasn't born in Brooklyn. Nah, you can't build a bodega here because you wasn't born in Queens. Yeah, a lot of these dudes is from countries real far from Brooklyn and Queens, and you know what? They making money out here, and I'm not gonna get mad about that. So how you gonna get mad about a rapper that's actually bringing a lot of money to your town? You guys sound ignorant. And yeah, in the case of Sauce Walka, yeah, it's convenient to Drake's the guy to make fun of right now. Be like, oh, he's appropriating, so why not hop on that train? Because that's more what it feels like. Because if we really broke it down statistically, he's probably doing a lot more for your city than you want to claim. Because a lot of people would have been standing behind you, and I don't see that much support on the case of Sauce Walka. And Hurricane Chris, same thing. Like, what's these independent artists that you talking about? Because you seem to be the only one making videos going back and forth with 50. You know what I mean? And it don't even make sense. Like, after Hurricane Chris got clowned, you know what I mean? He responds, you big dummy, you just proved my point. You don't know shit about the city. Shreveport, the nigga just said I got one song. Nigga, I go all the way back to 5 Entertainment. Yeah, you underground. What are you talking about? Like, is 50 Cent supposed to do knowledge on the entire hip hop game in Shreveport, Louisiana before he goes and brings a movie studio out there? Y'all gotta, you know what I mean? I think these rappers, y'all gotta start thinking bigger. You could have finessed that, Hurricane Chris, and maybe getting a role in his next TV show or whatever production he about to throw down. But instead, you want to get mad at him because he's not giving you a look to open up for a comedy show or an R&B show. Like, you sound crazy. I get it. You know what I mean? You guys are trying to represent for your town, but there's a better way to do it. And you're trying to find a scapegoat to make you feel better about your own lack of success. And to be honest with you, looking corny on this side. But yo, that's another episode in the books. It's your guy DJ Playboy. You can find me on X at DJ Playboy. You can find me on Instagram at Plickapeezy. I'm gonna write it down here somewhere. I know the production team is on it, but go follow your boy PLICCAPEEZY. And of course, you can find Perfect Talk on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. please go check out the YouTube, y'all. Hit that subscribe button. We trying to get them numbers up. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button, and of course leave a comment. Let me know what y'all thinking. Do you think 50's culturally appropriating Shreveport, Louisiana by bringing a movie studio out there? You think Drake is leeching off of the Houston culture? Did you think Michael Rubin was talking out of turn with his comments? Let me know, because I really want to know how y'all feel out there. Also, go check out the website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. Everything DJ Playboy all in one place. Every episode of Perfect Talk Podcast. And of course, you can get a t-shirt, a mug, a sticker, representing DJ Playboy, Perfect Talk Podcast, all that good stuff. I'm up out of here, y'all, but spread love. It's the Brooklyn way, and I'm going to catch y'all next week. Peace.